Now read out the story, first story. Yeah.
Ramesh, 21 years old, was heading back home when he suddenly was encountered by a storm.
Mhm.
He was already preoccupied with his thoughts about the work at his internship. He was doing an internship at an MNC where he was told that if he will have to take up a project, that he will have to take up a project to complete the internship and to get a certification, or otherwise he will not receive it. He was heading back when he got an idea about the project, which was related to his hostel and library automated entry exit system. After its completion, he was given the internship completion certificate.
Okay. Now, what did you say now? First and foremost, he says when he was coming, he met with a storm. Okay. How that storm is, and then you are relating that storm with your problem that you have got in your project completion, because if you don't complete the job, complete the project, you will not get certification, isn't it? What does it indicate? There is an anxiety, is it or not? Is it or not?
Yes, sir.
And that anxiety, what action now, first and foremost, what is your problem? The, in a story writing, you have to indicate your problem first. What is the problem? Problem you have defined that he has not yet got the certification that he should have gotten, right? Is it
Yes,
or
sir.
not? And then you are talking about certificate, then you are coming back, or that this is what I'm going to do it is on hotel management and all those aspects which are there, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, how have you solved it? The problem. You haven't solved the problem. How do you get a certification? What efforts did you make?
Sir, I completed the project.
How? That is not advice. That is wishful. You have just coming out and you met with a storm at that. You met this. You were in storm at that particular time. Suddenly you recollect you are already what you said preoccupied. I was already preoccupied with the solution of the project that you ought to take it. And then you are getting now idea that this is what I'm going to do. In that frame of mind, suddenly you say you've got the certificate. How do you get it? Is there any rationale behind it? There's no rationale at all. Secondly, through the action of the hero, you should have brought out your 15 qualities. Which qualities? It simply says you are pressure prone, anxiety has taken control of you, and you are submerged into it. Simple. There is a lot of anxiety, and you are unable to find solution. So the very first quality we have talked about effective intelligence, the use of intelligence to find a solution to day-to-day problem, you have not been able to solve it. Secondly, there is no reasoning ability. How did it come to me? Where is the result? What all options did you have? How did you organize it? So the complete factor one, effective intelligence, reasoning ability, and organizability has gone for a 6. Nothing no, but nothing great. It is simply indicates you are in a simple anxiety and problem. Read the next one. Next.
Ram, 20 years old, came back from college and was thinking about his performance in his NCC parade. He was not able to perform up to the mark because of the knee injury. His dad came meanwhile and he explained everything to him. His dad suggested him the ways to rectify his injuries and overcome the problem. He worked on all the problems and performed well that he was made the commander of the platoon. He also led his platoon to the overall second prize during the 15th August parade.
Okay, now your anxiety from 1 has come into 4 in story number 2. What you say? Your performance in NCC was not right. Secondly, you said you were suffering from knee problem. Then your father has come and told you some way to get out of it. But can knee problem be solved by mere telling? Tell me yourself. Is it
Like,
logical? Is it logical? It's totally illogical. So it confirms to me from story 1 and 2 that you are pressure prone, you are total great anxiety, unable to find solution, you require help and assistance. And again, lastly, in both the story number 1 and 2, it also indicates you are wishful. You are unable to, no, wishful is, you have to, what you call lack of practical intelligence. Your solution has to be on ground. You're just there, you simply went back and you became a platoon commander of NCC. How? Why? Any logic? Any logic? Tell me yourself. No. Okay. Let's go to story number 3. Unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Mukesh, 22 years old, had given his car to the service center as he met with an accident. After he received his car, he found out many flaws in the smooth working of the and was not satisfied. He took the car back to the service station and gave it back to them, telling all the things which were lagging. He talked very politely to them so that they do not mess up with the work again. The mechanics worked as to the instructions they were given. After all the testing, the car worked fine and Mukesh took the car back home.
Okay. Now tell me. It showed careless and casualness on your part. Why? Your car has met with an accident. Why? How? So firstly, you started the negativity, pessimism. Number 1. Number 2, then what did you do? You took the car back, then you are trying to, second point comes in, you are trying to be critical. You are not told either. So your process of selection, the reasoning ability of selecting the right mechanic, the right shop is not right. Why did you give a car to a non-genuine person? Where was the reason? And then taking back, then you should have taken the car, checked up the fault there itself when the car was handed over to you. Why do it take so long? So speed of decision is wrong again. And then you are trying to be, say, I try to be polite. What does it mean? That simply indicates you have got a tendency to get angered quite easily or distracted. The tendency for you to get angered. So you have to manage your anger in any case. There is no need of bringing this. These small words which you put into it, that itself indicates your own personality. And ultimately, what happened? What result? What is your action as a hero? You have done only one action. You received the car, check the problem, and give it back to the mechanic to do it. What is your action to bring out your own personality? Tell me even one. Tell me even one. I'll be happy to note it. Next. Okay.
Nothing, sir.
Okay. Read the next one.
Ram, 21 years old, had applied for the UPSC Civil Service examination. According to the procedure, he had to download the admit card from the site. But as he lived in a rural area, there was no stable internet connectivity. He contacted the UPSC inquiry cell and asked them to send his admit card by post. The cell said that it will take some time as the admit cards are not sent by speed post. He was worried as the date was nearing. He then received the admit card 2 days before the exam and was relieved.
Okay. Again, what action have you taken? Again, it shows the anxiety and the worry that has taken control of you. Now you said you are stationed in a village area where internet connections are not there. You are trying to appear in examination. Then you contacted UPSC and they told you it will take time by sending it by post. And in any case, you have received the admit card by post 2 days before the examination. Now, what is your action as a hero? Tell me. Your action is one, contacting UPSC and receiving the letter, isn't it? Now tell me yourself, by merely contacting UPSC and then receiving the letter, should you become an officer? Tell me yourself.
No, sir.
So none of the 15 qualities, we have already talked about 15 qualities should emerge. Your action, it is not, it's not a story, it's a small level, low level ideas. Someone has told you, became negativity in you. That's why you is full of negativity, automatically comes into play. Okay, read the next one.
Ramesh, 25 years old, had just completed his aviation degree and was assigned a flight as co-pilot from Delhi to Bangalore. As soon as the flight took off, a lady with a gun hijacked the plane and asked the pilot to reroute the flight. Ramesh, being young-blooded and the woman looking of the same age, tried talking her out as to what was the matter. She told that her husband was ill and wanted a huge amount of money for his operation. Ramesh decided to fund all the surgeries and operation.
Unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead. हो गया?
Yes, sir. I just.
Okay, now tell me what have you got? It's anti-social activities. Secondly, it indicates there's a need for money. And it also tells me that you can go to any extent to earn money. That is the problem. Basic issue comes from here. Who is the hero? Either the girl or the pilot. What has pilot done? If you take his hero, nothing. He has just talked it out. Did he succumb to it? Was the aeroplane hijacked? If he hijacked, how much money did he get? Was given? Who gave the money? If you take the girl as the hero, then again it's a negativity by itself. Your dynamic qualities are low.
The last line
yeah.
Sir, in the last line I wrote, Ramesh decided to fund all the surgeries and operations.
So from where? How much money does they have? Why do you say that? So you are trying to, it is anti-social activities. Is it or not? Unethical. So you are promoting the unethical. Can aeroplane be hijacked and you said you are succumb to it? Tell me yourself, is it possible? In aeroplane, if someone takes out a gun, would he or she be left by the police? Tell me yourself. If you again are wasteful, you are unable, lack of practical sense, you are just writing things for the heck of it. I have already told you, don't write any story of unsocial activities or antisocial activities, terrorism, etc. And if you are writing, it will end up in a problem by itself. Read the next one.
Rakesh, 23 years old, was newly inducted into the police force of the state. Few days after he was assigned a case of a serial killer, he had been killing teenage girls with no mercy. Rakesh saw the body of the recent killing and then tried to match it with the previous killings. He started to draw a pattern between all of them and made up a criminal profile. He circulated it to all of the nearby police stations, and after a few days and rigorous investigation, the killer was caught.
Okay, now. What does it mean? Again, it's a pessimistic story. Is it or not? You are talking about a killer. It's unsocial activities, antisocial activities. If children are getting killed, and you have joined the police as what? As a police officer? In what rank? Or was it one of those, police constable? What action have you taken? You simply, you're trying to circulate the data that you have collected to all police stations. And you say, finally, it was caught. How was he caught? What is your action? Your action is only one, collating some details about the killer and giving to various police stations. And then again, you're wishful that the person killer was killed. Was captured. That's all. How do you expect with this sort of ideas to pass SSB? Read the next one.
Hari, 18 years old, used to live with his mother alone as his father used to work out of station. He was in class 12th and his board exams were nearby. One day, while his mother was out buying groceries, suddenly tripped off a stair and fractured her ankle. Hari took her to the hospital and had a plaster done and took her back home and made her lay on the bed. Hari, for the next few days, had to manage his studies as well as the house chores. He daily used to bring food from her nanny's house of all three times and also ensure that her mother had all the medicines on time.
Okay. Now you are trying to take glory at the cost of your mother. She has fallen ill or she has fractured her leg. And by tripping on the gun, you are trying to look after it. That's for nurturing. You're doing it. Very nice. That simply indicates that you love your mother. That's okay. That's your affiliation to your mother. Now, you have now remember your own story. You are trying to come back. You did talk about your father was away. Father away. So because since I know your personal case of being father not available, this particular thing comes out in the system. You are talking. Otherwise, you would have informed your father, done something about it. So it's clearly it comes out from the system. Next, what have you done is a normal duty as a son. Giving food and medicine to your mother and managing your story, say your study for 3 days to 4 days. Is it a big deal? Tell me, is it a big deal? Anuvrat.
No, sir.
So unless the quality of story has to be there, it is complexity, quality, the 15 quality must have to emerge. Okay, come to the next one.
Alkesh, 21 years old, had recently completed his engineering degree in automation. He one day went to a circus where his friends and he suddenly with his friends and he suddenly was caught attention by a person selling coffee on a very large counter. The counter was big enough to accommodate 10 people, but not enough man force. He suggested the coffee seller that he can make a machine so that at most two people can work on it and he didn't have to worry about the line of customers. The coffee seller accepted the proposal.
Okay. So again, you're all in mental frame. Which machine? How much will it cost? What is your effort as a hero? Except for suggesting him that you can improve your efficiency by having some change in the machine. Who will do that? What will the cost? What is the complexity of idea? Can he afford it or not? You as a hero have done only one thing by suggesting, merely suggesting. That's all. You're simply suggesting him that, okay, this is what you can do it. Well, that's all a mental frame. That's all. Any action, but tell me around there. Which quality emerge? Again, a wishful. आप केवल सपना देखते हो. You lack the practical sense. You are a good human. There is no problem. Since you are going to help each and every person, all the places you are going to go, that simply indicates you have got empathy. And empathy is coming up primarily because of your own need. You are trying to show it because you do not get that empathy from others. You are trying to pass it on to others. So it is what you call reaction. Come back. So you want to do good to others because what you did not get it, probably you want to give it back to the people. That's very nice. There's nothing great. There's very great. But beyond that, any action, any quality emerging? Tell me. So a bit of social liability, yes. Social adaptability, yes, it comes out. Any other qualities? No. You went to circus at this age and time. How many places that people at your age and time are going to go to circus? Hardly. The circus has all become a past today. Is it or not? Is it or not? Tell me, sir, how many places circus are being organized now? Very few.
Yes, sir.
And again, you are talking about no. as a class 10th or 12th student. So that means you got regression. You're still in the childish mode. Mental age divided multiplied 100. That equal regression. Okay, read the next story.
Akshat, 25 years old, came back from USA while he was working at an MNC there. He once visited his paternal village to see its condition, as his grandfather was once the sarpanch of that village. The villagers were happy to see him. Akshat called upon the Gram Panchayat to listen to all the problems of the villagers. After listening, he suggested ways on how they can be rectified. He too himself was in an electoral party back at USA, so he knew how to address to problems with all the resources available.
Now, again, now tell me, you are belong to a village where your grandfather was there, who was sarpanch in that area. You come back to USA and you call people, let me hear your problem. Well, probably possible, but not possible in any case, because why should people listen to you? After having listened to the problem, how did you solve the problem? What action did you take it? What was the problem? How were the problems? What are the problems were mitigated? Any action? Nothing again? All at the mental frame? That's what you're thinking. मैं करने वाला हूं. So you want to do. You are a good person who would like to help and do good to others. That's very fine. Seem to be a good person to that extent. But beyond that, it has to be brought on the ground. You have to put a foot on ground and act accordingly, which is not coming back. Okay? Read the next one.
Shubham, 23 years old, used to live in a village in Rajasthan, which was near the desert. He had a camel which he used to take on commute, and all travelers used to ride on it. One day his camel fell ill during the commutation. Shubham tied his camel to a tent nearby and went back to the village to get some medicines for the camel. He stayed with the camel overnight in the tent, and the next day they carried on with their daily routine.
Okay, now, this is a famous problem which comes from projection. This is a projective technique. Now, the same sense of empathy that you are trying to show it to a camel, where you are supposed to dealing with human. You're dealing with human. Which qualities emerge? And this is what we call the complex. There's certain amount of mental complex of the mental problem which comes into play here. Anyone who projects on animals, ghosts, outside world, that is something, but that means you are slightly away from the society itself. Have a tendency to be a loner. I even doubt, because now so many stories have passed, you have not yet been talking about a group at all anywhere. So it means likely you are trying to be aloof. You have not talked about group anywhere, any person, anywhere till now. 10 stories have passed. So there is a need to relook at yourself and what is the problem. Okay, this is the next one. This is the next one. Quick.
Akshat, 22 years old, had completed his bachelor's degree in commerce and got an on-campus placement in a company. But soon the recession hit and the company threw out all the freshers after 6 months. Akshat had to find a new job as he was a single child, but wherever he went, there were no vacancies. He then consulted his father and gave himself another 6 months on upskilling himself through online platforms. He then applied online through LinkedIn in various companies and grabbed an offer from one of them.
Okay. Again, what is the problem? Again, this it indicates lack of self-confidence, self-efficacy. It means your competence. Look, in order to be effective in the society or in a group anywhere, there are three things are important. One is called autonomy. Second is competence. And third is affiliation, relatedness. We call relatedness. That is what one of the theories talk about it. So it means now you're not very sure about the competence itself. Getting a break into company, they're being laid off, certainly indicates the reliability of individual. Reliability and dependability gets questioned to that extent. And what have you done? Let me go back and upskill myself next 6 months, then find a job. Which job? How do you get it? And why do you get it? What do you do after that? So everything is related to self itself. Anxiety. So throughout, anxiety is taken its own control, in own way. Okay. Read the last one.
Sahil, 20 years old, was a cycling enthusiast, and being a hilly person, he decided to set out on an expedition. He packed all the essentials and tied them to the cycle. He soon met with heavy rainfall and speedy winds. He took a break in an eatery and again set out after the weather eased. But due to the regular interruption because of the weather, he had to take an overnight break in his tent, which he set up. Next day, he completed his trip and reached his destination.
Again, same thing. It is coming. So you get inhibited. You are unable to pursue. Now, every time, first and foremost, when you started expedition, if there was, you will say there's a heavy rain was there, so you stopped in between. Again, you got interrupted back because again, and when the weather cleared, they started getting into it. So everywhere, self-confidence gets questioned. Now, let's start first and foremost. Effectively, at no places you have shown your intelligence to solve a problem. All your problem everywhere are getting stuck. The effective intelligence is the use of intent to find a solution related to problem. Reasoning ability is questionable because at no place the reason, logic, why do that? It's a girl, G for grass, I for art is L for logic. That doesn't ever complain. You are unable to organize things well, so I, EI, RA, and OA gets questioned. Yes, you have got social adaptability. You have got you do want to help others. Social comes back from there. Okay. Then initiative. You have taken no initiative. Nowhere it comes initiative is questioned. No initiative doesn't come to play. Speed of decision is questionable. Self-confidence gets doubtful. Ability to influence good, again, nothing comes out anywhere. Liveliness is very much questionable. You will reject it on the portal because the small amount of problem is putting it off. Determination, again, question, because in last story itself, you have always get, because of the rain, you have to stop, run with, come back again. So you want a fair weather player. If everything right, probably I would like to perform. That's the end of it. Beyond that, no. Now, in order to, as I said, no, there are, what you say, there's a, you must understand there are about, say, 3-4 types of success. You must question yourself, what is the type of success? First is fame and high level of success. None of the story comes out, you've got to see very high level success. Mastering task, nowhere it comes back on there. Situation success, sometimes you get into a situation, yeah, I'll just get out of it. Again, to very, very low level of situation success come back. Relation having, you're not talked about anywhere. Where so the not failing, that's again, at nowhere you have got a high level success, that is good. So that is what is called the success itself. Have you solved the problem? Resolution? None of these resolutions are to an extent which brings out of 15 qualities. You have not given details which are required to bring out of quality. The adequate details are necessary, which you are not giving by. Okay. Then you have always come under pressure. You have already come under pressure. I don't know from which pressure is coming. Is the pressure of achievement and pressure of performance. You have got self-doubt. That self-doubt has to end. There's nothing wrong with you. You are an intelligent person. You can solve your problem. Have faith in yourself. And that itself gets missed out to that extent. Okay. Then you are anxiety. There's a lot of anxiety into you. There's anger. Okay. Then there's a tendency to get, what you got, sad and depressed. There's a tendency to go sad and depressed to sad scenario for war. Okay. And you have tendency to get tired. That is, mental stamina gets questionable, mental stamina, where everywhere you give up. Okay. So they are the basic issue which comes up back here. With this status, you have to improve a lot if you want to make a dent. Any question you have to ask? Push.
No, sir, right now. So, अभी तो कुछ नहीं, sir.
Huh?
I will
Have
have
you
to look to it again.
Have you understood now why? Because these things should have now you have appeared for SSP so many times. These things you should have analyzed yourself. And with appearing for so many times, if you have not analyzed and you expect that people will pass you, probably it is not. It cannot, dollop is not given to in SSB. If you are there, you are there. If you are not there, no one is going to give any damn favor to anyone.